Good morning and welcome to Ask the Expert, an award-winning daily series from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. to help small businesses to understand how they can grow and grasp their financial information. If you have any questions, then please make sure you ask them in the comments on the live feed. If you need any more advice, join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook. There's accountants and business experts on hand 24/7. During the live session, we'll be running a poll, so please do engage with it, and I'll reveal the result at the end. And if you haven't already registered, make sure you register for the QuickBooks free annual conference, QuickBooks Connect Live. Look out for the link in the chat below. This is a fantastic event. It takes place on the 9th and 10th of March. It's online and it's totally free of charge. The event brings entrepreneurs, small business owners, and accountants together to grow, learn, and connect. There's some absolutely brilliant keynote speakers on this year's event, as always. So even if you only attend for that, it's certainly worthwhile. My name is Johann Goree. I'm the Managing Director of the OnPoint Accounting Group. The OnPoint Accounting Group is a group of accounting firms dotted across the UK, supporting small and startup businesses to launch their business and to grow and meet their personal and business goals. Today, I wanted to speak to you about a topic that in our firm we've not had to look at for quite a while because we've done it all, but we are getting more and more inquiries about it. So I thought it would be a really good time to have a bit of a reminder. And that is MTD for VAT. So that's Making Tax Digital for VAT. The government many years ago decided they wanted a more accurate real-time tax update and tax system. So they decided to launch what they've called Making Tax Digital. And the plan is that we should all use accounting softwares like QuickBooks to file our VAT returns and in time, our personal tax returns, our corporation tax returns, etc. So they launched Making Tax Digital, and the first real target was VAT. And as of April this year, all VAT registered businesses, regardless of whether you are over the VAT threshold or not, if you are processing VAT returns from April this year, you must file your VAT via accounting software directly to Hmrc. You won't be able to do it through the Hmrc portal any longer. Now, in the OnPoint Accounting Group, all of our clients were moved to MTD VAT about 18 months ago now. Because if you're using accounting software, it's just a new login. The accounting software just has to send the information to a slightly different API compared to where it used to send it. So for all of our clients using QuickBooks, it really was no challenge whatsoever. It was really easy, simple, and we can just change it without the clients even being involved, really. And then we were carrying on as normal. The biggest challenge is for businesses out there that have not started using accounting software for their VAT returns or their bookkeeping, etc. Now, I've done a few videos for QuickBooks in the past about MTD, and yes, it's a pain. We've got to use accounting software. Hmrc are making it the legal requirement to use accounting software. There is an option to use spreadsheets with bridging software. I class that as a minimum standard. I do not think it's sufficient, and it's not best practice, and it's not the way forward. I originally, when that rule of bridging software, which takes data from a spreadsheet and puts it into Hmrc, came along, it was meant to be a temporary solution. And I envisage at some point that bridging software reliance will be removed. So you will have to go onto accounting software at some point. But there's just so much value in using an accounting software outside of being legally compliant with MTD. So you've got your cash flow, you've got instant insights, you can send your invoices, you're reconciling your bank, you've got live financial data to understand your business with at all times. So you get all of that, plus you'll be able to get the information over to Hmrc to meet MTD compliance. So it's a win-win. I just want to go through kind of the timescales again, though. So April 2021, that was when all VAT businesses whose turnover is over the VAT threshold had to go MTD compliant. It was a soft deadline. So Hmrc kind of let you off, and then they started sending some letters out saying, would you mind please using it? At some point, those letters will get more, you're not using the right system, you need to be MTD approved, you've got to use accounting software. But they've not started sending those yet, mainly because of COVID and how many different things have been going on recently. So April 2021, all VAT registered businesses with a turnover over £85,000 a year had to go MTD compliant. And then April 2022, so in a month's time, all VAT registered businesses, regardless of their turnover, if you're VAT registered, you must use MTD compliant software, because the Hmrc website where you type in your amounts in each box, that is going to be turned off. You will not be able to file through that anymore, because Hmrc did a study and they've decided a lot of errors happen with people manually typing information into those boxes. So someone hits a 6 instead of a 9, or they hit a 3 instead of a 7. There's a lot of manual errors, which resulted in a lot of underpayment of VAT, but also a lot of overpayment in VAT. So MTD is designed to make it more accurate for everyone. And by using something like QuickBooks, QuickBooks gathers all that information for VAT, both in and out, into a report, and you can sense check it. You can then run a check tool which reviews it and helps you understand that you've got it accurate, and then you press send and it submits the information. If you were using QuickBooks and you weren't MTD registered, but you were filing your VAT returns through QuickBooks, there's a very minor change for you, and that is just the way that the login details that you use to file the information to Hmrc through QuickBooks. You're already practically MTD compliant, so you won't have a big change. The biggest change is going to be for anyone that isn't using softwares or is using paper-based books, and they're not even using a spreadsheet. That's where the biggest change is going to come in. So it's really important that we embrace these changes as early as possible. So if you've not done it already, start looking at it. If you're not sure, there's loads and loads of VAT MTD resources on the QuickBooks website. It's really worthwhile checking out. Loads of little videos from accountants and other experts such as myself explaining what it all means, explaining how you need to do it, answering loads of frequently asked questions. So it's a really good resource to check out on the QuickBooks website there. So yeah, as of April this year, so in a month's time, VAT MTD is going live, and it's really important that you understand what you have to do, how you have to do it. And I had a chat with someone 2 weeks ago. Their accountant's not mentioned this to them yet. This has been in the process and the pipeline for 3 or 4 years. We've had all of our clients MTD ready for 18 months. It's been coming for a long time, but there are still a lot of accounting practices out there that are still very head in the sand. It won't really happen. It's not going to happen. They're in denial, and they've not started educating their clients on it. So if that's the case, if your accountant's not mentioned to you and you're VAT registered, it's one of two things. One, they've done it in the background for you. Don't need to worry. Fantastic. Or two, you need to be asking them why they've not spoken to you about it, why there isn't a plan, and what you're meant to be doing about it. So I hope that helps. April the 1st, 2022, everyone who is VAT registered has to be MTD compliant, filing through MTD software such as QuickBooks. So let us get on with some questions. And we've got a few through already. Brilliant. Okay. From Anna on Facebook Messenger. Are my customer details covered by QuickBooks data protection policy? I'm trying to make sure all the data we hold is GDPR compliant. I'm not clear on what happens to the data when it goes into QuickBooks. And I'm not an expert on this field, so you'll need to contact QuickBooks directly. However, my understanding, so QuickBooks is GDPR compliant, and all the information we put in there is secure under the GDPR compliant rules. But if you want to know the complete ins and outs, then I'd definitely give QuickBooks a call or drop them a message, and they'll be able to explain to you and send you their policy for GDPR and what covers what and terminology and stuff like that. So I hope that helps. But my understanding is it's fully GDPR compliant. Okay. Charlie on Twitter DM. My financial new year starts on the 1st of April. Can I wait to sign up to MTD on QBO until after I've submitted my VAT return on the 31st of March 2022? Charlie, yes. So MTD comes into force on the 1st of April, and it impacts on the first return you file after the 1st of April. So you can wait until the 1st of April to set up your MTD details with QuickBooks. So that's absolutely fine. Viv on Facebook Messenger. I have migrated to QuickBooks from another software. Well done. I've set up for MTD on there, but do I need to reapply to Hmrc with QuickBooks, or will they automatically just carry on receiving returns via QuickBooks? Fantastic question, Viv. So when you set up QuickBooks and you turn on the VAT return settings and it asks you for your login details for VAT with Hmrc, that will just connect to the right account straight away, and QuickBooks will just file all the information from QuickBooks into that account as it should be. So it doesn't matter that you're using another software before now, it automatically sorts itself out. So it's really easy from that point of view. And QuickBooks will be the one that now receives the information from Hmrc regarding the accounting, the VAT return periods and stuff that you've got to use. So that's absolutely fine. You shouldn't find any issues with that changeover there whatsoever. Connor on Instagram DM. The Hmrc sign up for MTD VAT page still says businesses need to have a turnover of £85,000. Has this changed and the page not updated? Connor, as of today, you do not need to be MTD compliant if your turnover is, if you're VAT registered, but your turnover is under £85,000. As of the 1st of April, that changes. So what I'm talking to you about today, Connor, is the upcoming change. Hmrc will update their website with that information on the 1st of April. But if you ask around and have a Google, you'll find loads of information that this is happening on the 1st of April. And as of the 1st of April, all VAT registered businesses must be MTD compliant. So the current rules are, as of today, the 2nd of March, it is the 2nd, I believe, 3rd of March, sorry. If you are VAT registered, but under £85,000 a year turnover, you do not need to be MTD compliant. That changes on the 1st of April. So that's why the Hmrc website is saying something slightly different, because they're telling you the current rules, not what's coming up. Okay. Vince on Twitter DM. If my company deregistered for VAT, how do we deregister from MTD? Vince, if you're on the VAT, if you were VAT registered as a what I call an analog VAT return, where you could go into the website and file it through the Hmrc website, and you've deregistered, that's all you need to do. If you registered via MTD, if you register for VAT and you were using MTD filing software, when you tell Hmrc you're deregistering, they'll deregister you for MTD at the same time. It's one of the same thing, basically. So I hope that helps. Okay. Graham on Facebook Messenger. I was registered for VAT, but stopped paying it in the middle of the pandemic as I was below the limit. I now need to start paying VAT again as I'm again over the limit. I'm trying to connect to QuickBooks on QuickBooks again. I've disconnected and then reconnected my account to QuickBooks, but it's saying it's not connected to Hmrc. Okay, Graham. So you stopped paying because of you went under the limit in the pandemic. The question for you there is, did you deregister with Hmrc? And if you did, then have you re-registered with Hmrc and got a new number? Or have you got the same number reactivated? And if you were filing, when you stopped your VAT registration originally, were you logging in via a Hmrc website that you could enter the numbers in manually for the boxes? And if you were, then you need to transfer your VAT registration to an MTD one on the Hmrc website, which is really easy. But if you were MTD compliant before, it might be worth giving Hmrc a call because they might not have reactivated your registration properly. I hope that helps. It's just really important you get the terminology right there. So you say you stopped paying now. Did you deregister formally with Hmrc, or did you just stop paying and filing them because you knew you were under the threshold? Because if you did that and you didn't deregister, Hmrc are going to still be expecting those returns because you didn't. It sounds like you might not have told them that you were under the limit. So yeah, if you need to chat more about that, Graham, please feel free to drop me a message on LinkedIn and I will happily have a call with you and just go through and get that terminology really spot on so we know exactly where you stand. Question from Janet on Instagram DM. Hi, Johann. Do we need to do some more registrations regarding VAT Making Tax Digital from 2022? For now, we are just using QuickBooks and file VAT via it. Okay. It's worth having a chat with your accountant, Janet, to work out where you are in the system. So if you have got a VAT registered number and that was filed via, and that's been used, and you're now just filing through QuickBooks, that's fine, but you need to then transfer that to an MTD VAT portal, which you can do on the Hmrc website really easily. And then you update and you turn on the MTD feature in QuickBooks. It might be worth, Janet, dropping me a message and we can have a phone call to discuss that in more detail, just so I can make sense of where you're up to and where we need to go with that. Or you can have a chat with your accountant who should be all over this for you. Lily on Twitter DM. I need to print my journal for the closing year-end journals, but I don't know how. Okay, you'll need to speak to the tech team at QuickBooks about that. I've never had to print a journal off before because it's saved in QuickBooks. We know where it is. So yeah, it'd be worth having a chat with QuickBooks about how you do that, because I can't remember seeing a feature for that. It's probably something they don't have to do very often. Right, our next question is from Hibber on Facebook Messenger. I know Hmrc are trying to encourage all records to become digital, but how much can they see? For example, when you link Hmrc to QuickBooks, is it simply the totals usually input into the VAT return, or the underlying records are visible? Really, really good question here, Hibber. So this is actually looking at the future of MTD. The dream, the goal, the objective from Hmrc originally was that you would put all your records onto QuickBooks or any other accounting software. You would then press file for your VAT return to Hmrc. Then they envisaged that, so at that point, they're just getting the totals in the boxes like you'd normally give them. But then the vision was that the Hmrc could drill into those totals, see all the invoices and all the receipts that make those numbers up. And then they could drill into that and see pictures of each invoice and each receipt. Now that it's just not been technologically possible for Hmrc to build out yet. That is, however, the long-term goal. But for now, at the moment, all Hmrc can see is the 9 boxes. The long-term goal will be that they'll build out the API so they can drill right into it. So it's worth getting into good habits and good practice now, because it is coming in the future. So I hope that helps. And that's a really good question, Hmrc, as to what the long-term vision is. But at the moment, all they can see is the totals that are in the boxes. Right, how are we doing? So Julia on Facebook Messenger. I run a cleaning company and often do mini contracts for 5 cleans. Customer recently fired us, but partway through, we did 3 out of 5 jobs, but she's claiming we did 2 and is demanding a discount price. What should I do? Don't know if I can be bothered with the hassle, but I'm annoyed on principle. That is not something we can really advise on, Julia. It might be worth having a chat with a professional body like the FSB or a solicitor or something, just to find out where you stand, what your terms and conditions are, what evidence you've got to prove that you've done 3 cleans rather than 2 and stuff like that. But it's not something I'd be able to help you with on that one, I'm afraid. Our next question is from James on Twitter DM. If I sign up on gov.uk, now would I have to submit my final quarter through that, or should I wait until after sending final quarter manually? So once you've signed up to MTD, it's live, it's instant. So it will then start from the quarter that you're in. So if your quarterly return runs January to March and you sign up to MTD on the 1st of March, then it would look at January to March as your first quarter. So don't sign up until you're in the quarter that you want to file for the first time through MTD software, James. Hope that helps. Hannah on Facebook Messenger. If I start using and recording information in QBO in the middle of a quarter, how can I ensure or alter my VAT return to reflect this? In my case, we plan to use QBO to record information, but not use the QBO VAT facilities until the 2nd quarter. Okay, if you're recording the information in QBO, QBO can start capturing the VAT stuff straight away. I'm not sure really why you would not start all in one go. So that's a bit confusing. But if you want to manually adjust your VAT return, what you can do is you can say to QuickBooks that you want to start your VAT return period from whatever month is the first month of your first quarter that you're going to file. So that's in the VAT settings, so that'll help. However, if Hmrc think that's not right, they can override that and tell QuickBooks through their API that that quarter's not right, we're waiting on this quarter still, and then QuickBooks will default to the right quarter. So yeah, I would just start clean. I'd go, right, from my first return in QuickBooks is going to be this. And in that case, I'm going to turn on all the VAT settings and stuff from the start of that quarter and make it really nice and simple. Don't start and stop and stuff, because you're just going to make a mess and a headache for yourself. Shelley on Twitter DM. On my QB, I can see the Making Tax digital symbol enabled in the side, green mark. Does this mean it's all good and I don't need to take any action? So if you're on the VAT return and it's got the MTD on, just go into the settings, make sure MTD is there, and then there's a little switch next to it. And if that's green, then yes, you are MTD compliant and you're sorted, Shelley. So you've got nothing to worry about. Jonathan on Instagram DM. Does QuickBooks send any more detailed data to Hmrc, such as individual invoices or just the 9 VAT boxes? So a very similar question there, Jonathan, to what Hmrc asked. At the moment, it's just transmitting the 9 boxes, nothing more than that. However, the long-term goal is that it will be able to transmit a lot more information, because that's what Hmrc's vision for this process is. At the moment, they just want they're replacing the current system with a new system that doesn't do anything extra, really. But the long-term vision is that they'll be able to see all the data underlying those big numbers. So I hope that helps. Roden on LinkedIn. When will the development for deleting inventory items, not making them inactive? I do not know, Roden. Basically, I'm not from the QuickBooks team. I just use QuickBooks in our accounting practice. So it'd be worth registering that with them. There's normally a feedback button on every screen you're in. So it'd be worth putting that in your feedback. But historically, accounting systems don't like pressing delete. They always archive stuff, because if you delete an inventory item where there is financial data attached to it from previous years, even though you don't use it anymore, by deleting it now, that could damage the financial information you've got on record already and that's associated to that inventory item. So although you don't need it anymore, ultimately the software still needs it to associate the information that's already there. So it's really important that you don't just delete things, and that's why they give you an archive option and not a delete. But if that's important to you, make sure you feed it back to the QuickBooks team. Okay, Frederick on LinkedIn. Hi, Johann. In France, we use one apps from the store who allow us to choose the AR balance, which unpaid invoice we can collect with an integrated debt app. Did you have the same in England? We have got some various open banking features coming out in the coming months that will enable us to collect payments and make payments, yes. So yeah. Right, Jane on Twitter DM. I already use QuickBooks for my bookkeeping and then submit Hmrc via the Hmrc website. Once I sign up for MTD with Hmrc, do I just put the login info? Yes, so you're already halfway there, Jane. You've actually got a very small step to take. When you go into your QuickBooks, you go into VAT and turn that on. It'll ask you for your Hmrc gateway credentials. Once you've got those credentials in there, it will then automatically file that information through your gateway every single time. So it's really nice and simple. So yeah, you're already there. You're doing the majority of the work with the bookkeeping. Go into your VAT settings, turn on VAT, turn on MTD, put in the government gateway details, and then it will automatically file the information for you. Brilliant. Right, we are running out of time. So that is all the questions for today. There's some absolutely brilliant questions in there. Thank you very much. MTD, even though we've only got a month left, is obviously a very hot topic and very relevant still to everyone out there. So we did a poll. We asked you, are you already set up for MTD for VAT? 50% of you said yes, and 50% of you said you're working on it, which is fantastic news. The sooner you get this done and sorted, the better. You'll be able to sleep better, you'll know it's out of the way, and actually it's only a small step for most of you that are already using QuickBooks. And if you're not already using QuickBooks, where have you been? It's a fantastic tool. It gives you so much information, so much power and insight to your financial side of your business that MTD is just a little cheeky bonus. It's just an add-on. So yeah, if you're working on it, fantastic. If you need any support with that, you've always got the QuickBooks team. You've got the QuickBooks SMB community group you can ask questions on in Facebook. And you're more than welcome to reach out to us directly as well via our website or my LinkedIn. So thank you all for tuning in today. If you want to get in touch with me, you can send me a message on LinkedIn. Just search Johann Goree. I'm fairly sure I'm the only one on there. Benefits of having a unique name. So yeah, if you need to reach out, you've got any questions about MTD or QuickBooks, feel free to stick it on a message in LinkedIn. I've also got some YouTube channels covering lots of this stuff. So yeah, please let me know. Coming up on Ask the Expert tomorrow is the certified health coach and CBT practitioner, Michelle Flynn. Tune in to get advice on managing your mental health and mastering mindfulness. Michelle's fantastic for this stuff. She's really good to have a tune in and listen into, and just take a little snippet away and focus on your own mental health and mindfulness over each day. So that's really good. A reminder, if you need any more advice, the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group is available. Accountants and business experts are in there 24/7, answering questions, sharing experience and stuff. And don't forget to sign up for the QuickBooks Connect Live on the 9th and 10th of March. There's a link in the comments below this video. Really enjoyed answering all your questions today. If you any questions on MTD, please feel free to get in touch. I hope you all have a fantastic day.